you're welcome to yet another interesting edition of Let's Relate with Amo. I remain your very host, Victoria Iorhemba. With me here is a mother, a mentor, a relationship expert, Dcns Abimbola Victoria Agi. She'll be taking us on how to handle a cheating partner. I know you like to ask some questions about this, so you can send in your questions through the phone number displayed on the screen, 070-3378-9392. Ma, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. God expects us as believers, as His children, to be pure, to remain pure, and to stay pure in marriage. The Bible tells us in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 3 that marriage is honorable in all when the bed is not defiled. So whether you're talking about premarital sex or extramarital sex, that brings dishonor to a marriage. So God expects us as His children to be faithful to our spouse. And that's why the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 2 that to be able to avoid fornication, to avoid adultery, let every man have his own wife, and let every wife have her own husband. God expects us to stay faithful in our marriage. The act of adultery, what it does is that it brings a fierce storm into a marriage relationship. And that storm has the potential to destroy years of fruitful marriage, to destroy years of a successful career. And that is why God expects us to stay faithful to our spouse. The act of adultery also comes with a sea of unwanted emotions. Emotion of anger, of bitterness, of resentment. All those emotions begins to manifest in the marriage that when there is an act of adultery. But at this point, the tendency as human beings is to react, to begin to fight, to begin to shout, to begin to scream. But at this point, if you really want your marriage to work, this is the time to know where your heart is in relation to your relationship with God. Yes, it is painful. It's very painful. Adultery is the highest betrayal, the highest form of betrayal to a spouse. So at that point, you should sit down, calm down, and focus on God. Because in anger, you will do things, you will say things, you will act in ways that will further put your home in more marital crisis. So what do? The first thing you do is remember your vows. What did you say on that day? You promised to remain faithful to this man. At this point, you must understand that your vow should not be betrayed also because your spouse betrayed you. If you are a child of God, then you must learn to do the right thing, irrespective of what your spouse is doing, whether it's doing wrong or right. You do the right thing. And by you doing and staying in the right way, you give the opportunity for the Spirit of God to come into your home to make things right. And then the next thing, forgive your spouse. Yes, I know it's hurtful, it's painful, but you need to forgive your spouse. The Bible tells us in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 32 that we should be tender-hearted to one another, forgiving one another. As believers, forgiveness is paramount. Yes, your spouse has hurt you, he has done things that is really painful to your heart. But God expects us to forgive. It may be difficult, but with the help of God, with the Spirit of God, with the grace of God, with the help of God, it's possible for you to forgive your spouse. It's possible for you to forget what he has done and move on to a better marriage, to a better union with your spouse. It's easier to work on your marriage when your spouse maybe is a believer. It's easier to work because both of you can be open to counseling. Both of you can be open to God's repentance, God's grace, and then you taking a new way of working on your marriage. But your marriage can still be better. Even if your spouse has cheated on you, your marriage can be better. You, the hurting one, you must not remain in the realm of being hurt. Many times as believers, we want to stay in the way of not forgiving, because we feel that by not forgiving, we have a way, a kind of power or control to be able to manipulate the spouse that has sinned. But you remaining in unforgiveness means that you have put yourself in a cage. You have put yourself in a prison. So forget. Let go. Let go of all the bitterness. Your marriage can still be better. Your marriage can still be sweeter. Then, next thing is that you must continue to love. Continue to love your spouse. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 about the characteristics of love. That love believes all things. Love hopes all things. Yes, when the act of adultery is committed, trust is broken. But you can still trust again. And that's with love. You may still have the fear. You may be having fear, suspicion. Will he do it again, or will she do it again? But the Bible tells us that fear has torment. If you are having fears, if you are being suspicious, it will torment you. So open communication is better. Continue to love, give out love, continue to forgive. Yes, there are times where the images of those of the act of adultery will come into your mind, but just choose to forgive.
Yes, you can trust again. Just some questions here. My heart is very heavy, and I would like to know how to take away this pain. My husband has become a professional cheat, and I'm tired of fighting other girls. So much would like to know what to do about it.
You must understand that it's only God that can heal hearts. The Bible tells us in Psalm 61 from verse 1 to 2, the psalmist was praying. He says, "Hear my cry, O Lord, attend unto my prayer. From the ends of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to that rock that is higher than I. When my heart is full of pain, that is when you need to go back to God, because it's only God that can heal broken-hearted. It's only God that can heal the broken hearts. So you need to let go of the pain, and that you can do by focusing on God, focusing on His Spirit, focusing on His Word. You don't have any business fighting other girls. You bring yourself low to their level. You have no business at all. And just like you said, you are tired of fighting other girls. That means there are more than one. So the challenges is not the girls, because there will always be girls around. So you need to focus on your husband. The act of adultery means that it's a sign of a bigger problem. Adultery itself is just a surface manifestation. There is a bigger problem. There is a bigger issue. It could be unmet emotional needs. It could be the spirit of lust. So that means that as a woman, you need to get down on your knees and pray for your husband. The Bible tells us, the psalmist was praying in Psalms 119. He said that let not iniquity have dominion over me. So you need to be on your knees and pray for your husband. You have said that your husband is now a professional cheat. That means that he has done it more than once. So you need to pray for your husband. In case he's not born again, then this is the time to pray for his soul to be saved.
The second question is, my husband changes his password anytime he starts skipping late nights. Does it mean he's cheating on me? Ma?
Well, that could be a sign. And if he's doing that, then you need to ask yourself what is going on and try to address issues. If you need to talk to your husband about it, then let him know. He's keeping late nights. Why is he keeping late nights? Where is he at that particular time? He should be at home with his family. So that could be a sign, and that could tell you that you need to be on your toes. That's a wake-up sign, a wake-up call to tell you that something is wrong and you need to do something about it.
Okay, we have a last question here. It's actually from a single person. It says, they say all men are the same, has messed up my trust for men. Please, how do I overcome this?
Don't base your life decisions on the experiences of people. Yes, men are prone to temptation, but it does not mean that every man is a cheat. You're already living a life of fear, and that will affect your relationship with men. That will put you in a way whereby you suspect every man. And living a life of fear will put you in a place where there's a tendency for you to make a mistake. So forget that fear. You must overcome that fear. The Bible tells us that fear has torment. It's going to torment you. If somebody comes for your hand in marriage, you may begin to think he has another girl outside. It's going to tamper with your relationship. You will not be able to trust that man. And trust is essential for a marriage to work. So you need to overcome that fear that you have, that every man you see is a cheat.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank
It's
you
so
for
interesting
having
having you here on the show. It was so grateful. I hope you've learned one or two from her. Keep a date with us next episode on Let's Relate with Amo. Thank you.